You're watching Newsfeed AM. Let's bring you this discussion now. The Constitutional Court finding that President Cyril Ramaphosa had the legal right to reverse the high-ranking prosecution appointments that were made by his predecessor, Jacob Zuma. Now, the magistrate these are Magistrate Ron Mwabe and the prosecutor Raymond Matenja. They had both challenged Ramaphosa's decision to reverse their appointments. Let's speak now to our reporter, Juniour Khumalo, who is watching that story for us. Junior, good morning to you. So before we talk about what the reasons for the president were to make these reversals, let's start with the court pronouncements. What were their reasons why they support President Ramaphosa's actions on these two individuals?
Good morning, Toli, and thank you so much for having me. So the court yesterday, in a majority ruling, said that the appointments of these two individuals was not finalized because the president was supposed to appoint them and make a public pronouncement of this appointment. So in February 2018, just before former President Jacob Zuma left office, he made these appointments, and these appointments were contained in presidential minutes. But the president never announced that they were appointed, and he left office on the 15th of February. Yeah. So the announcement to these individuals was made by the then National Deputy Public Prosecutor, Mr. Shaun Abrahams, who told them via text message and phone calls that they had been appointed. So that's where it's tricky, because the appointment is supposed to be formalized by the president making it public to the South Africans. So this was never the case, and hence the majority judgment yesterday saying that they are not fully appointment, and the successor, who is Mr. Ramaphosa, is fully within his legal rights to reverse these appointments.
Junior, do we know President Ramaphosa's reservations about these two individuals? Because if they were in line to basically occupy the positions, it means that something must have been very wrong for them to be in pole position, so to speak, to occupy those positions. What is it that Ramaphosa was concerned about that he had to make this reversal, which ended up in court, by the way?
The concern appears to be how this appointment was made. The two individuals in their court applications to the High Court and later to the Constitutional Court indicated that they were given a phone call by Mr. Abrahams' PA and asked them to send their CVs to him. And later, I think Mwabe said he was called on the 1st or in mid-2017. Around June 2017, he got the call, and he was then told to send his CV, and then he was then given a call by Mr. Abrahams on the 1st of February, notifying him that he had gotten the job. So it's how they got these positions. Both of them indicate that they were called, they sent in their CVs, and then they got the positions. So it doesn't appear to have been a proper process that was followed according to the Act in the National Prosecuting Authority.
Yeah. We know, Junior, from recent history, that the National Prosecuting Authority, at least for the past 10 years, or for a decade, let's just put it that way, it has been said to be an institution that is struggling with the integrity of people that have been put in certain positions. And it all goes back to the whole issue of state capture, where many people will tell you that there was a hollowing out of the criminal justice system in order to put individuals who would be amenable to the political leaders of the day. Do we know where the NPA stands in this regard? Because they have been engaged since Shamila Batoy occupied office. They've been engaged in what I think they've termed a cleanup to try and prop up the image of the prosecuting authority.
Indeed, Oli, there has been that attempt to try and clean up the image of the National Prosecuting Authority, but in this instance, the NPA never filed any papers. So the papers were only filed by the president, who explained that this appointment was not done in following the proper procedures, and he had therefore the right to reverse this appointment and appoint new people. So what is also interesting is that the president has since gone out and appointed 2 new directors of public prosecutions in Mpumalanga and in the Northern Cape to replace these 2 individuals, and hence they approached the Constitutional Court to try and reverse those 2 appointments, and maintaining that their appointment by former President Jacob Zuma was indeed rightful in that instance. So the NPA, it's still unclear where they stand in this matter, but the president has been very vocal about the appointment was not legal and hence it has to be reversed. So he cannot remove the 2 people that have been appointed in this place just for these people to take that position.
You're a political reporter, and has there been reaction in the political realm about this particular decision? Because when this kind of stuff happens, it's easy for those who are watching, particularly in the opposition benches, who are going to say, surely this may amount to some kind of maneuvering in order for the administration of the day to put in place people that are going to carry out perhaps things in accordance with their wishes. There's a way, or there's a word that is usually used in this. It just escapes me right now. But what I'm simply trying to ask you is whether there's been any reaction from the political world about this, because we know the term that says the use of state resources to fight political battles.
Indeed, that's something that a lot of politicians have expressed concerns over, that the incumbent president usually puts in place his own preferred public prosecutors. So for now, we still haven't received any political reactions from opposition parties. We are seeking their responses as we speak. We also are trying to get an analysis from a legal expert as well, just to find out what their thoughts are on this reversal by the current president. But we are definitely going to keep our viewers up to date as soon as we get these responses. It's quite a lengthy judgment, so I'm assuming that they're still going through that judgment and they will come up with their comments after they've read the entire judgment.
The Constitutional Court, we know that it is a final court where a person who feels aggrieved, that they think they will get some legal recourse. Has there been any word from the 2 individuals as to what the next step is going to be, or this is essentially the end of the road?
I'm guessing they have accepted that this is the end of the road. There has not been any communication from the 2. But what is interesting from the Constitutional Court judgment, in a minority judgment, the Chief Justice, Raymond Zondo, who has some history with the former president, actually found that the appointment was accurate, and he would have indicated that those 2 individuals should retain those positions. So that was an interesting one, because the 6 other judges found that it was not appropriate, and the successor was within his legal rights to reverse the judgment. But Raymond Zondo himself found that this was actually done in the proper way.
Very interesting indeed. Imagine. Who would have thought?
Given what happened, especially with the former president when he was supposed to appear before the Zondo Commission, the revelations that happened, it's very shocking that this was the turn of events in this case.
Indeed, very interesting turn of events. All right, Juniour Khumalo, let's leave it there.